A torrential downpour, and that has really changed the outlook here tonight.
It's going to be a great matchup. Rhinos off a huge come from behind U.S. Open Cup win on Wednesday against Harrisburg, scoring 3 times in the second extra period, led by Asani Samuel, the rookie out of Canisius, who had 2 goals and an assist. He's on the bench tonight. And Montreal coming off a 3-2 loss to the Red Bull 2 at Red Bull Arena. So it should be interesting to see how Montreal does tonight. Their one win was against Charleston, their only loss this season. So Montreal can certainly play. It depends what kind of Montreal team we're going to see tonight from the coach, who is a doctor, by the way. Dr. Philippe Eulafoy. He has a doctorate in environmental toxicology from the University of Quebec at Montreal.
We'll see if he can clean up the 1-6 Montreal record, as he was a little concerned with their lack of going forward earlier in the season, but they've come off a good performance against the Red Bulls, a 3-2 loss last week, and since they're starting to push forward now, gain some more confidence, as Gagnon Lapere has one played off of no one out of bounds. He is the captain tonight, number 28, the 20-year-old.
Montreal with just 5 goals this year in 7 matches, the lowest scoring team in the USL. So they do need to get some offense. They did score a goal against the Rhinos last time out in the 89th minute through Alessandro Rigi. But their other player who has 2 goals this year, Luis Belan Goyet, is not with the team tonight. So Montreal have to find someplace else to get their scoring.
Duba, top of the 18. McMahon pushing forward, takes a touch. Outside to Ruggles, and the slick surface will roll out a play. It's a deep throw-in on the far side for FC Montreal. 0-2 away from home, without the services of Nazim Belganduz. He's got a 3-game suspension, actually, after the 90th minute red card against the Red Bulls. Red Bulls 2, that is.
Also, Jean-Luc Charbonneau is also out. He's played in all 7 matches up to this point for the FC Montreal side.
Long throw in for Ruggles. Headed away. Ruggles will pick it up on the far side. Drew Ruggles played indoors this past season with the Baltimore Blast.
Teammate of Anawa Obasi, who's on the ball
there
right
he
now.
is now, yeah.
What a coincidence.
Chip one forward, looking for the big man, Duba, who picked up 2 yellow cards in that U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday, as Andrew talked about.
And so he'll miss the next U.S. Open Cup match for the Rhinos, which will be against Philadelphia Union at PPL Park, Tuesday, June 16th. I hope to get down for that match. Last time they played the Rhinos, it was an easy win for Union, 3-0. And they'll be playing against former Rhino keeper, USL Keeper of the Year, John McCarthy, who's now starting for Union.
Some high pressure there from the Rhinos captain, Tony Walls, and Dominguez knocks it off of him.
This is incredible. Look at this. The sun is out. It's like 75 degrees. It's absolutely perfect after that torrential downpour we had during the anthems.
You know, during soccer games, you normally see a couple supporter section. Well, tonight, you've got the Flower City Stampede, the Oak Street Brigade, and then the Ultras have made their way here as well. A group of about 10 or 12 just behind the Montreal bench.
And you got to hand it to the Montreal fans. They come out, and the Rhino fans were chanting USA, USA, so the Montreal fans did not counter with "Oh Canada." They sang the Russian national anthem. They didn't know the words, though.
Classic.
Where's Nikolai Volkov when you need him?
I spoke with Pat Erkeley's wife, Karen, before the game, and she just remembers some nights up in Montreal when the team would fill 2 or 3 spectator buses, and she said the fans would rocket sideways, just throw things at the bus. There was one of the most heated rivalries, the most intense rivalries you'll remember in USL, A-League, whatever you want to call it. Those were the days.
And the teams played each other more than any other teams in that league. Montreal, of course, goes back all the way to 1993. With the Impact, and now, of course, Impact in Major League Soccer, and went all the way to the CONCACAF Champions League final, losing out in the final to Club America, losing at home by a 4-2 scoreline.
60,000 plus at Olympic Stadium for that one. As Montreal working it in their own half. Driven ball forward off the knees of Van de Castile. Now Ugarte.
And this is a very young Montreal team, average age probably about 20 years old. So this is a learning experience. Montreal Impact want this team to be a chance for the young players to get game experience. The record isn't as important as learning the game and playing against top competition, and they're certainly doing that this year.
Ugarte. High cross, far side, and it'll avoid everyone. It'll be out of play. Goal kick coming up for Montreal. You know, you look at some of the Montreal players going back to 2013 when they were the Montreal Impact reserves. A lot of these guys have played against the Rhinos. Crépeau, Gagnon Lapere, Massoudi, Lajoie Gravel, and Daye. They played in that June 7th game here in Rochester. Then July 22nd, a couple other ones as well. So they kind of know what Rochester is about, but again, a lot of new faces for this FC Montreal side.
And they're very familiar with Rochester because they've already played them twice. A 3-0 victory earlier this year with Mendoza and Valesky with 2 goals, and then 2-1 in the most recent game. Again, Valesky with the 2 goals. I think he's channeling his inner Eddie Sabrango, who's former Rhino, who always seemed to score against the Rhinos when he played for the Montreal Impact. Probably the one person who scored more goals against the Rhinos than anybody in club history.
There's Dinkota. Good pressure from Ugarte, and this one's knocked out of play.
Dinkota is a very interesting case. He's born in Switzerland. His parents are from the Congo. His father and brother played professional soccer in Belgium, and his brother Serge is the coach of the Impact Under-13 team. And his favorite player, one Thierry Henry.
So a defender idolizing a striker. Very interesting.
He was a striker as a youth, and now he was shifted into the back, and he said he followed Henry everywhere he went, every match. He was his idol.
Far side, a hard tackle there from McMahon.
Both teams feeling each other out here on this slick surface. Of course, when teams warmed up, it was bone dry out here, and now with the torrential rain we had for about 5 minutes, it's speeded the game up just a bit, so the players trying to get used to the surface, knowing how much weight to put on their passes.
Looking for Valesky. Dinkota marking him. Ugarte overlapping. Steps in. Back to Valesky. Takes a touch. Still Valesky. Shot! Deflected, and the referee is going to make a call here on the shot from Valesky, and a yellow card will be issued here early on, and it will go to the Rhinos. Not sure what the card was for.
I have no idea. Let's see if we can see it on the upcoming replay, but it may have been a deliberate handball. It's about the only thing I could think of. There was no contact there.
First yellow card of the game.
That's very early on. It was, Rhinos knew from the Open Cup game, Duba picked up an early yellow and then got a second, and then the Rhinos had to play shorthanded for over 80 minutes in that game.
Crépeau will have the restart, the 21-year-old making his 4th appearance of the season.
Crépeau, the 3rd keeper for the Impact overall, who has been changing keepers numerous times this year, the main Impact team, even bringing in former Rhino Christian Niche to play in that critical second leg of the CONCACAF Champions League final. He played 1 game and they released him. Boo.
Unfortunately, but he landed on his feet, back with his old team.
In the 11.
Ruggles, good ball in behind Duba, shot, goal! Duba continues the magic. He has scored the last 2 league goals for the Rhinos. He's got number 3.
A nice ball through there, perfectly weighted ball from Ruggles. And Duba will not make mistakes from there. A very experienced player. And boy, is he on a hot streak right now. 3 goals in his last 4 games. And here's the replay. Perfectly weighted ball, nice through ball from Drew Ruggles, getting his first point of the season. And we'll see if there's the longer replay. There's Valesky with the head ball, getting it to Ruggles. So if this was MLS, Valesky would have gotten a secondary assist on that.
9th minute, Duba, his 3rd of the season, and Ruggles with the helper, but give Valesky credit as well. Setting the table for Ruggles. And Duba, as Andrew mentioned, he has been in fine form.
One of the earliest goals the Rhinos have scored this year. As the Rhinos have been more effective in the second half of games this year, scoring 10 of their 13 goals in the second half, but this time getting the first goal very early on, and that really puts the pressure on Montreal.
A good start for the home side as the smoke bombs being let off on that far side. Duba and Voleski, a very dangerous tandem up top. Ruggles helping out as well. It is 1-0 Rochester. Walls nudged off the ball, and it'll be a foul called against Montreal's Marco Dominguez, the 19-year-old. Onto the near side, Ugarte, seen a lot of touches here early on. Finds Obasi, good touch. Gets around Fabio Morelli. And they're gonna call the foul. As Obasi did get it to Tosh. Referee didn't like what he saw. Man in the middle again is Vito Testa Jr.
Free kick for the Rhinos. It'll be Sean Tosh over the ball. Getting the start tonight.
Here's the delivery. Swerving ball into the box. Headed down, and Crepeau has to clear it away as it was Temguia who heads it towards his own goal.
Wow, Tenguia could have, you thought he was playing for the other team there maybe.
Well placed.
Poor touch there, but Crepeau was up to the task to save the day, or Montreal would have been down 2-0, and that just might have been it. But the Rhinos
Ruggles
get a corner.
Corner kick on the far side. Turning into a beautiful night. It's cooled off. Sun starting to break through.
Well, my wife must have watered at home.
Good ball.
Oh.
Punched up in the air as Crepeau and I believe it was Ringhoff collide. May have been the fist of Crepeau and the head of Ringhoff.
Ringhoff is an absolute beast in the box. He outleaps everybody. Tremendous vertical leap. Anytime he gets near a corner, he is a threat to score.
Good delivery from Ruggles. We'll see if he can repeat. Rhinos lead at 1-0 in the 12th minute. Another driven ball headed out by Oseen.
A little too close to the goal there on that corner kick.
Hard work by Morelli, and it's going to be the referee calling a throw-in for FC Montreal.
Interesting call there, but we're not there.
Yeah,
so.
you could hear the crowd not too happy with it. Van de Castile, and out of bounds by Ringhoff.
So the Rhinos made 5 changes from their Open Cup starting lineup. They put in Grinwis along with Ugarte, Tosh, Ruggles, and Voleski. And also 5 changes from their previous USL first match that they played against Toronto FC at BMO Field, a goalless tie between the Reds and the Rhinos.
Gagnon Lapare spinning away, the captain of the Rhinos applying pressure. Langcourt Joseph out to Temguia. Quick one-touch sent forward now for Lajoie Gravel. And the Rhinos will clear out of play with McMahon. Rochester 6-0-4, 6 shutouts. And you know, you look at that U.S. Open Cup game in Harrisburg. I was speaking with a couple people before the game tonight. This kind of has the slight makings of 1999 once again.
Well, it's certainly a big road victory for the Rhinos in that Open Cup match. And they've had luck down in the road against USL or same division teams, let's put it that way, formerly the A-League as well. But it will be a big test. Philadelphia Union is playing very well right now. They've sort of righted the ship. They've had some problems early on in the MLS season, but they're starting to play. They beat the Red Bulls recently, so they're certainly a team to be reckoned with, especially at home. And my good friend Eric Nash of the Vuvuzela radio show, I'm sure he and I will be chatting on Soccer is a Kick in the Grass when we get closer to that U.S. Open Cup match.
Off the chest of Rigi. Duba, little fancy trap there. Settles it. He has just got confidence oozing right now. Scored the last 3 USL goals.
He's a classic forward, too. You know, he's an experienced player from Cabo Verde in Africa. A lot of experience playing in different leagues and, you know, growing up with the game as well. So a guy who, you know, his job is to score goals. And he's done that in the last 3 games. Three of the last 4, I should say.
He has done well. As Bob Lilly, again, has assembled a team that goes real deep, very athletic, very versatile. And they showed up in a huge way on Wednesday. All 4 goals in that final session of added extra time. Actually, Harrisburg scoring at the 106 mark, then Forbes at 107, and Asani Samuels at 115 and 120. What a night he had.
he set up that first goal from Canardo Forms, his countryman from Jamaica. It's great to see a young player like Samuels. He's a guy very, very similar to Duba. You know, big, strong, fast player, can shoot with either foot. And I tell you, he's got some potential. The MLS guys, I'm going to be watching him, I think, in the near future.
The 22-year-old just wrapped up his college days at Canisius College, just west of here. That's why he's kind of on a part-time basis with the Rhinos, finishing up his degree. Now those days are done, and it's full-time soccer as Ugarte gets dumped by Morelli.
There's another guy, Joe. Marcos Ugarte has really stepped up in the last few games. Now in the starting lineup, solidly in the lineup, working very well with Anuel Bassi. Those two left-footed players give the Rhinos a lot of danger on that side, and they'd like to work that left side of the field much more than the right side.
Restart on the near side. The Rhinos have a 1-0 lead. We're in the 16th minute. As Montreal set to defend. Here's the delivery. Swerving ball into the box, and Crépeau will come on a little bit of trouble, but able to scoop it up.
Very dangerous ball there from Tosh. Interesting, he was the one taking the free kick. You might have thought maybe Captain Tony Walls would take that free kick. It's usually Johnny Mendoza. He's on the bench tonight after playing in that Open Cup match on Wednesday. We'll probably see him later on.
Good hard tackle there from McMahon, but Ruggles takes the worst of it. You can hear the thud from up here. Dinkota out to Temguia, and he will knock it out of play. We're in the 17th minute. The Rhinos have a 1-0 lead thanks to a 9th-minute goal from Duba. Ruggles got the assist. And while we have a break here, let's thank some of our sponsors, including USLsoccer.com. Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub. That's USLsoccer.com. As Ruggles down on the turf, slow to get up.
And while we have a little break, we'll let everybody know we've got a lot of matches on deck in the USL, some good rivalry games. You got the Pittsburgh Riverhounds hosting Harrisburg in the Pennsylvania Derby. Once again, Louisville against St. Louis FC. That's going to be becoming a big rivalry as well. Charleston and Wilmington, two of the longtime teams in the USL, are playing tonight. Richmond Kickers hosting the Red Bulls. Also Tulsa and Portland, Orange County against Seattle, Sacramento Republic against Real Monarchs, and LA Galaxy 2 against Colorado Springs. Tomorrow it's Vancouver against Arizona, and Oklahoma City hosting the Austin Aztecs. And we all associated with the Rhinos and the USL.
That picture you showed, unbelievable.
The Austin Aztecs stadium was flooded because of the terrible weather they've had down in Texas. Their stadium is about under a foot or two of water right now, House Park. And we wish Austin Aztecs all the best. We hope they can get their stadium situation taken care of. But just a lot of terrible weather down there. We wish them all the best.
Sending our best wishes down, no doubt about that. And speaking of best wishes and our condolences, Pat Erkley, the president of the team, his mother passed away in the last couple of weeks. We send our thoughts and prayers to Pat and his entire family here in Rochester and up in Canada. And some of the players with the black armbands tonight. In honor of Mrs. Erkley, thoughts and prayers to the entire family. Ringhoff, Tosh, chips forward. Duba trying to work it again. Settles it down for Ugarte. A heavy touch picked up by Walls. They work the far side of the 18, headed down. Looking to get it to Rigi. Can't win it. It's Tosh shoving off the Montreal midfielder. Back to McMahon. Now Walls finding a pocket. Moving to find that open space, Tony Walls. Ruggles is up and okay. Walls back from Valesky. A bit of possession here from the home side.
Good one-touch play from the Rhinos. Nice short passing, looking for the opening, trying to get some space. There's Walls with some space.
Walls. Ruggles.
I might fire one there, but decided better of it.
Back to Walls, chipped into the box. The header. Ugarte puts it back in front and just headed away at the last second. It was Dinkota possibly keeping this one at 1-0.
Duba was teeing that ball up, and just as he swung to hit it, an open goal was knocked away from him. But the Rhinos do have a corner. Duba very dangerous, and FC Montreal must be wondering, hey, what's going on here? Christian Valesky was the guy we were supposed to be worried about, and Duba's the one who's doing all the damage right now. Here's that scene again. Ugarte back in front and just knocked away. See Duba swinging ready to meet that ball, just didn't get to him, but here's the corner.
Low, flicked on to the far side. Players go down in the box. Fans want to call, and Vito Testa says goal kick for FC Montreal, coming off a 3-2 loss at New York Red Bulls number 2. Gave up 2 goals in that second half.
You're never going to get that call, Joe. Not 99.9% of the time.
4 players actually went down, 2 for each side in that last challenge. Getting back to that Red Bulls game on Sunday the 24th, Philippe Eulafroy said New York was the best team they've played against since the beginning of the season. I think Rochester may have a different opinion on that. So Bassi battling with Morelli.
If I remember right, the Red Bulls in that game brought up like 11 players from the main roster, so that may be why.
That would look good. That would look good.
It was. I remember reading about that the Red Bulls decided to, since there was no conflict, they brought up some extra players, and still that Montreal played very well, only losing that game 3-2, and they had a chance to tie that game late on.
Duba gets it to Valesky. Into the 18, Valesky. Good defending coming back there by Oseen. He'll knock one out of danger.
And I'm sure Dr. Eulafroy has studied a lot of game films on how to stop Christian Valesky, who's been the one-man wrecking crew for the Rhinos against FC Montreal this year with 4 goals in 2 games.
It was a great visual right from midfield in front of us. Valesky and Duba, you could just see them turn it up another gear, chasing down that ball on this near side. They are 2 quick, tough customers that the USL will have to deal with.
Absolutely, and you wonder what's going through Montreal's mind right now. They've not been able to break down the Rhinos. Most of the game's been in the Montreal half. They're going to try to nick a goal here at some point, hope for a mistake, but the Rhinos make very few mistakes in the back. I mean, the only last mistake I saw them make was against Wilmington. In the game, the late goal they gave up, and it was an excellent cross that equalized that match after Duba had put the Rhinos ahead against the Hammers. So far, the Rhinos are one of only 2 undefeated pro men's teams in U.S. soccer right now. The other one, the Cosmos, so they'll be undefeated for a long time because their first part of the NASL season's over.
Gets the clearance.
Look at the guy on the far right.
They're going to be playing the Cuban national team.
Ruggles comes away with it. Onto the near side for Obasi is the Oak Street Brigade in full force tonight. Ugarte looking for Duba. He'll get on the end of it. He'll cross it. And it's cleared away. Streaking in was Secunda. And another corner kick coming up for the Rhinos' 5th one.
Duba couldn't get a big boot to that one to get it across. But another corner for the Rhinos, and eventually you get enough corners.
Oh, sorry, 4th corner kick.
One of them is going to go in the back of the net.
Tosh over to take it. The 23-year-old, 4-year starter at Northern Illinois University. Played his club soccer with Rhinos defender Pat McMahon at Bridges FC. Here's the high delivery. And Crepeau has been busy.
A little too much air under that one. Easy catch for Crepeau in traffic.
Off the head of Van de Castile. It'll be a throw in here on the near side.
Again, Joe, these games build character for these young players because you're playing against guys who are, most of them are pretty experienced pros, and the young guys, they need to play against these more experienced players to get the game time and understand, how you play in the pro level.
A great development program in Montreal. Frank Klopas, the head coach of the main side, helped out by one of my all-time favorite former Rhinos, Mauro Biello. Now the second man up there with Frank Klopas. And Simone Gatti is actually an assistant coach here with this reserve team. And he was talking to the boys about the rivalry that existed years ago between these 2 clubs.
And boy, what some great memories. Some good, some not so good. Even just going back to the first game at Frontier Field, Onandi Lowe scoring 2 goals, and the second goal was a goal of the century goal. We scored from 40 yards out, and then Doug Miller with 3 goals in the second half. And the Rhinos franchise and the mystique was born.
Great times, and Pat Ercole, the coach of the Rhinos at that time, Valerio Gazzola, the head coach of Montreal, they would battle on the sidelines as well. I mean, the battle was so intense, there was complaints of the lighting being changed at halftime for certain teams, complaints of the water in the locker rooms. I mean, it was every aspect you can imagine was talked about, was discussed. But when they got on the field, it was nothing but fireworks.
It's world soccer. It was world soccer played in North America.
Good point. Good call.
It's a lot of fun. We'll talk more about some of the memories as we move along in the match tonight.
Duba gets it back from Ugarte, but it's broken up. Ugarte picks it up again. Voleski, Ugarte. Obasi, and this will be knocked out of play by Morelli, and this is the 5th corner kick now for the Rhinos, 27th minute.
You know, as this game goes on, as long as we don't get any more bad weather, the field's going to start drying out. So again, the teams are going to have to adjust to their weights of their passes. Valeski's pass to Ugarte toward the end line was excellently weighted that time.
Tosh on the near side. Steps in. It's a good delivery, a little deep. Walls will head it back into the mix and out of play. And we have a little break here. Let's talk about Facebook. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. Facebook. USL. As we are in the 27th minute. Rhinos with a 1-0 lead if you're just tuning in. The 9th minute goal from Duba. Ruggles with the assist. Foul was called. It was Gagnon Lepere who was winning the call.
Other USL scores. Right now, Pittsburgh 0, Harrisburg 3 in the first half.
Wow. Good chance there for Lajoie Gravel, but not sure if the foot was the right choice. Maybe the header would have been a better option there.
That's a hard ball because
in between.
To head it, you've got to get down or try to volley it. There's really no good option there, so he went with the foot and didn't get a hold of it.
Here's Grinwis, gets the kick up to midfield, headed on by Walls. Brought down. Loose ball given up and picked up by Ugarte, who gets tripped. And foul called against Dominguez. Another restart coming up here. Rhinos have had several of these.
Yes. And Tosh has been taking practically all of the set pieces in the field of play.
Short to Obasi. Outside, McMahon.
See if the Rhinos try the right side this time.
1-2, Ruggles and McMahon. Driven ball into the box. And Coda heads it down nicely for Morelli. Little back heel pass. And take it away again, looking for Duba. Couldn't pump it through. Voleski fights for it along with Dominguez. Montreal coming forward now. Lajoie Gravel. Stood up there nicely by Van de Castile.
Montreal still keeping almost all their players behind the ball, if at all possible. Kind of keep this a 1-goal game maybe in the halftime and then maybe make some adjustments going into the second half.
There's Ugarte. Tosh has been good. He has been strong here in this first half.
Getting a lot of touches on the ball as well.
Outside.
Playing in that midfield role.
Ruggles. Walls. Duba, a good touch. Voleski claps and says, good look there. That is a good, quick touch, and if Voleski's ready for it, he's gone.
And that's experience right there. Duba knew exactly what he was going to do when the ball was on his way to him. He knew he was going to try to knock it off to Voleski. Voleski wasn't ready for it, but something to look for maybe later on in the match, something similar.
Van de Castile, a ring off, gets in a little too aggressive. He's going to be picking up the call against Lencourt Joseph, who plays the quick restart, but headed away by the Rhinos defense. Julian ring off over Ugarte's head. Dakota. Montreal trying to keep some possession for the first time in the Rhinos half of the field. We're in the 31st minute. A throw-in coming up here for referee's assistant. Called it for Rochester, but they'll change it now. Throw in for FC Montreal.
That's the right call. Montreal did get the throw in there.
Dakota dries off the ball. Looks like he's going to step into this one. There's the long throw into the box. Medium length. Jersey tug called, and Lencourt Joseph will go into the referee's mental notebook, the 20-year-old.
One thing right now, Joe, with Montreal, the Montreal forwards and midfielders, they're getting physically overpowered right now. They're smaller players, some of them 5'4", 5'5", going against guys like Obasi, who's 6'5", Van de Castile 6'4", Duba 6'5". There's right now some bigger, stronger players for the Rhinos, and they're using that advantage to control this game so far.
Obasi will go all the way back to the 23-year-old, Grinwis, out of the University of Michigan. He'll knock one up and over the near sideline.
Grinwis has given up just one goal this year so far, doing very well as a rookie. Michigan not known for their soccer program, more known for their great football and basketball teams, but certainly Grinwis, one of the top players ever to come out of University of Michigan. His idol is Iker Casillas of Real Madrid.
Not a bad one to emulate.
Certainly.
Rigi. Oseen. Heavy touch there, and Lencourt Joseph will lose possession. Van de Castile pressured. Has to quickly knock it forward. Montreal in the all-blue, Dakota. Dangerous ball, Ruggles that got behind him, and Secunda, or Tim Guia will come forward now.
That's the adage I guess you'd use in soccer, like similar to football. You ran before you had the ball. He saw the whole field in front of him. It's like, oh my goodness, and he just forgot to take the ball with him.
This one is flicked on by Volesky. Ugarte will save the run. Trekking back now is Oseen, the 23-year-old. We'll play it back to Crepeau.
Montreal's Rhinos have dominated play, but just have the one shot so far, and that is the goal from Duba. Montreal yet to have a shot at Adam Grinwis.
Seen a little bit of space. Now he'll chip one forward in behind the defense. Off the hand, and it is called finally as Rigi just had to extend that arm to slow down the pace of the ball.
Best chance for Montreal is a great run from Rigi, who's scored against the Rhinos, and that's going to be a yellow card. I think that is a make-up yellow card for the first yellow card for Volesky, where the same thing happened. The referee saying he deliberately used his arm to bring the ball down, and that is a booking. Rigi, a great player in the youth program in Montreal, went to Europe, played for Sampdoria, Celta Vigo, Atletico in Portugal. Favorite player, may have heard of him, a guy named Messi.
I think I've heard of him.
And congratulations to all Barcelona fans. They won in their first leg of the Copa del Rey over Atletico Bilbao 3-1. And
there's a look at that last replay.
And
you can see the arm coming out. Yep. And on the ensuing kickoff, Duba and Oseen, a nasty collision for two big boys. Oseen will get called for the foul, though.
Another free kick for the Rhinos. And there's, could have been a yellow card. It was definitely a handball, but yellow card, maybe. Again, I think the referee, he did it once for Volesky. He had to do the same thing for Rigi to make it even.
35th minute. Tosh over another Rhinos free kick. Here's your whistle. The chip into the box. Oseen gets up high to win the header to the far side of the 18.
That's a tough ball to chip there, Joe, because you have no angle on it. I was surprised Tosh didn't take a rip at that one.
Rigi. Lajoie Gravel. Dominguez. Morelli on the near side, and that one's got to do better. As it rolls under his foot. Morelli, the 20-year-old.
And Joe, again, you don't see this in the score sheet, but Tony Walls ran back about 50 yards to get in the way of that pass and force the ball to go out of play. So Rhino's captain doing the little things that you need to do to win these kinds of matches.
Tony Walls has been outstanding. He's been outstanding all year, whether it's indoors with Milwaukee or outdoors as the captain with the Rhinos. Signed a contract extension through the 2016 season. An outstanding player on the indoor turf or the outdoor turf.
Yeah, it's all in the family. His sister Kara Walls plays for the first place Chicago Red Stars in the NWSL.
Trying to get in behind McMahon. He'll get a left foot on it. And clear it to Obasi.
Great play there by the veteran McMahon. It could have been a very dangerous opportunity for FC Montreal. You want to call him the impact.
Minute. I know, it just wants to come out so bad. Follow @USL on Twitter. Become a league insider. Join club conversations and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. It's the USL on Twitter.
Richmond up 2-0 on Red Bulls 2 in the 36th minute. I congratulate all the USL teams who did so well in the US Open Cup in the third round.
Oh, Duba gets swiped down. Oseen is going to definitely get a yellow card. Maybe worse.
Let's find out. It'll be interesting to see what the referee does here.
I'm going to write it on my notes, and we'll hold off on what the card is. In the 37th minute.
Vito Testa thinking about it. Should definitely be a card of one color or the other. Let's see what it is. Looks like it's going to be yellow.
He's going to be a yellow for the hard challenge against Duba. Just outside the Montreal 18. Oseen, Shakib Oseen, the 23-year-old. Coming in and getting a full, solid piece of Duba.
That's for sure.
Now Tony Walls is coming over to take a look at the restart. Says, "Hey, Tosh, you've had a couple chances. Let me take over from here. We'll see if that is the case." No, Tony's going to walk away.
I think Tony may have told Sean Tosh something. Maybe he's doing some kind of a play they worked up on the training ground, as they say. Watch Duba on this free kick, Joe. I just got a funny feeling he may be embellishing slightly, and maybe Montreal might not pay too much attention to the big guy. Let's
keep an eye on it. Two-man wall for Montreal. The delivery is low and on the ground. Kicked away by Crépeau, and that was a good idea. And a good save. And Volesky is going to be, or it's ring off, I'm sorry. Call for the foul coming out of the 18, bumping into Oseen.
Crépeau thought he was playing for the Montreal Canadiens there for a second. But that was a great save by Crépeau. He's been the man of the match so far for FC Montreal, making the plays he's had to make.
You had to mention my beloved Habs. Great season for the boys on the ice. Just didn't go long enough.
Well, at least you're calling the FC Montreal, not the Toronto FC game like the last time where you talked about your favorite hockey team.
That's right. Good tackle from Obasi on Morelli. And now it's Dakota to have a throw, and we're in the 39th minute. 1-0, Rhinos lead. A nice goal from Duba. Has the ball now on his feet. Popped up in the air, Duba.
He has such great control of the ball. He knows exactly how to juggle that ball. For a guy who's 6'5", 210 pounds, he's got some incredible skills.
Rigi on the far side, and he's going to run out of play.
I'm trying to think of a player it reminds me of. I was thinking of Luca Toni, who Hellas Verona scored for them today, and they tied Juve 2-2. My colleague Joe Sirianni, I'm sure, wasn't happy about that. But
how about his age? 38 years old, Luca Toni, and he's leading Serie A in scoring. Unbelievable. Unbelievable story.
Definitely. Congratulations to our fellow Juventus fans for winning the Serie A title once again, the Scudetto. And
one more step, right? One more step in the mix.
One more this coming Saturday against Barcelona.
And speaking of the Italian Soccer League, congratulations to Joey Saputo. Actually on his purchase of Bologna in the Serie B. And They're going to be in, I believe, a playoff to move up for promotion to the Serie A. So Saputo and Bologna, maybe an affiliation with the Impact. Players sharing and maybe going both ways.
It's good to see that with the working agreements. Of course, we have Manchester City and New York City FC are intertwined together. We're seeing the great Frank Lampard wearing the light blue of NYCFC very soon.
Zugarte to Obasi, and this one will come up and into the... Some more sponsors. Nike, a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. That's Nike.
You know, for all the dominance the Rhinos have had, it's still just 1-0. So Montreal certainly still in this, very much in this match. You know, for a team that's only won one game, they have talent. They proved they can get a win. Charleston Battery, the only loss they've had this season was to this FC Montreal team. You never know.
You know, you look at the entire organization from top to bottom, and hats off to a guy like Joey Saputo. Very loyal. You know, Mauro Biello, still with the franchise. Nick DeSantis, Simone Gatti. It's just great to see that he keeps these people around and he values what they do. It's not just a couple years here and you're gone. It's great to see those guys around for such a long time, and they contribute to the growth of this team.
They have a chance to get back to the Champions League again this year. They can win the Canadian Championship.
Copas has Montreal off to a 2-3-2 record. They'll be in Chicago tonight. As Ugarte and the Rhinos coming forward now. We'll talk about that in a second. And Valesky is going to be off sides and smartly holds his run. Wow. Duba chases it down. Ugarte back across the 18. Ruggles was ready to go, but cleared away by Lencourt Joseph.
And Valesky knew enough not to go for that ball. He would have been called offside. So Duba just steamed through there and got to that ball, but nice play by the Impact defense to keep it 1-0.
There's Morelli. Joao Gravel. Good tackle from Ringhoff. 25-year-old.
He wins the throw-in as well.
Product of the German soccer machine, and he really does symbolize that tough, physical play of the German teams.
Native of Freiburg, a countryman of Mele Temuya, who's also born in Germany at Darmstadt.
Valesky into the 18. His shot, oh, it's off the mark. He was looking for his third or his fifth of the season against Montreal. Oh.
Crepeau did very well there, getting out in front and getting close to that ball from through ball, and Valesky had to get around. There's the scene again. Valesky, the nice little touch with his head, gets it on Crepeau, but Crepeau comes out well, cuts the angle down and forces the shot to go wide from Valesky, and he knew he should have done better with that one.
Second thoughts, maybe a dribble around the keeper, but again, tough situation when it's coming at you full speed. That would have been his fifth goal of the season, fifth goal against Montreal. And good thing for Valesky, these two teams will play again later on this summer right here at Salem Stadium.
Wednesday, July 8th, the only Wednesday night league game for the Rhinos at home this year.
44th minute, Obasi, Duba. And flag comes up.
He was offsides.
Absolutely. A little late in the call, but it is the right call, regardless. All USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today.
Dr. Ulafoy gets to be pretty happy with his FC Montreal side, just down 1-0 late here in the first half.
45th minute, Oseen, Montreal looking to penetrate this wall of a Rhinos defense. They don't give up a lot of goals, tops in the league with only 4 against. Lencourt Joseph has his pass intercepted and knocked away by the Rhinos defense. Oseen will start the attack again with Morelli. Rigi poked away by Ugarte, the 22-year-old. Played college soccer at Providence and Michigan.
You mentioned Rhinos have given up only 4 goals this season. The trademark of the great Rhino teams was the defense. We start in the back. Defense wins championships, and Pat Erkley proved that in his tenure with the Rhinos.
2 minutes of stoppage time.
A couple of injuries to Ruggles and to Duba, and of course the goal scored.
And this one way out of control by Oseen, and it'll be a throw-in for the Rhinos. After tonight, a little bit of a break for the Rhinos. June 13th, Louisville. The next opponent, 7 p.m. for the Rhinos. And then it gets busy. The 13th, Louisville. 16th, 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup. So savor that time off.
The Rhinos certainly need it. They've got some injury problems right now, and they love to go into their 2-week off break with a victory tonight. Heal up those injuries and get ready for another tough stretch with Louisville and Philadelphia Union, and then on the road at Harrisburg once again.
Lajoie Gravel, good touch, Lincourt Joseph. No one there, he's got to slow it down, he'll go outside. McMahon reads it well. And he will break it up, should be a goal kick for the Rhinos, and of course I'm wrong, it's a corner kick for Montreal.
Well, again, referee Mr. Testa was right there, used his head, and we'll have the first corner for the Impact.
Did you translate for me, please?
I said Impact.
It's all right, same family. Yes.
First corner for Montreal, 5 already for the Rhinos. Grinwis now has to look into a bit of a sun, so we'll see if he can get onto this ball.
Lincourt Joseph's low delivery, the header. It was Rigi who got in, or Morelli, I'm sorry. Unable to put it on frame.
It's the first shot of the game for FC Montreal. Maybe time for one last rush for the Rhinos, depending how quickly Adam Grinwis gets this ball back into play. Referee Testa looking at his watch, has the whistle in hand. Looks like he's going to blow for the end of the first half as soon as this ball goes in the air.
After, there you go, 45 minutes of play, the hometown Rochester Rhinos, with a goal from Duba in the 9th minute, have a 1-0 lead. We'll take a break, and when we come back, it'll be second half kickoff. 1-0 Rochester leads FC Montreal. This is the only Andrew Battisti. Duba with a goal in the 9th minute from Ruggles, giving Rochester the 1-0 lead. As we begin half number 2 with an FC Montreal kickoff. They did make one change to begin the second half. Mitchell Bringolf, the 19-year-old, has come on. I believe it's for Oseen, but we'll double check, and there's going to be a card issued right away in the back pocket, a red card. As right off the second half kickoff, it's going to be Fabio Morelli, who is sent off with a red card. I was looking down at my notes, Andrew, in all honesty. Did you see what happened?
I did not see what happened, but there's a Rhino player who was on the deck. Must have been a foul from behind. Wow. I don't think that's what Dr. Eulafoy told Montreal to replay.
Ejection issued in the 46th minute.
Let's see what the play here. Morelli. Oh!
Oh, it's Obasi who takes the shot.
I was going to say that looks like something Mr. Miyagi would teach.
The leg, the boot, the bottom of the cleat coming up high.
You get a point for that in full contact karate, but in soccer you get a red card.
So Fabio Morelli will be sent off. It is Oseen, by the way, who's the player who has come off for Bringolf. Oh. Nazim Belganduz was sent off in the 90th minute against Montreal last week, and now Fabio Morelli is sent off in the 46th minute with a red card as soon as the ball's kicked off here.
Wow.
In half number 2. So 10 men now for Montreal.
I was going to say, Hossein was substituted because he had a yellow card, and then this happens. Boy, this really puts Montreal in a tough situation. But you know what, Joe? The Rhinos were in a similar situation against Harrisburg, and they scored 3 goals. So it's still anybody's game. Montreal was a forward, so it's not going to affect Montreal in the back. They have to find some way through, though. Rigi is going to be a key player for them going forward because he's basically the only guy who scored goals for them because the other goal scorer, Luis Pellan-Goyette, is not with the team tonight.
So Montreal has to deal now with one less player. Morelli sent off, coming up high with the cleat, getting, it's like the midsection of Anoa Obasi still rubbing his chest.
And that's a bad play. Morelli is a pretty experienced player. He goes back to, from Switzerland, played for Neuchâtel Jama in Switzerland since 2006. So, I mean, this is a guy who has experience, but I don't know what he was thinking. But he wasn't thinking, and that puts Montreal at a big disadvantage.
And when you look at the replay, he does take a quick look to see who's ahead of him on that long ball. He did see Obasi was there and still continued to go through with the foot. No hesitation at all as he was sent off.
Well, Montreal is not hanging back. They've still got 3 players up front. The Rhinos could really take advantage in the midfield and in the front line of this 10-man Montreal side.
Here's Dominguez. Temguia outside to Bringolf.
Looks like they've pushed up Dinkota up top now on that right side.
And Ruggles wins the ball, but he's called for the foul against Secunda.
And there's going to be another substitution coming in for FC Montreal. Victor Ndai will be coming in, the player originally from Africa.
Looks like he's going to replace number 54, John Dinkota. Unless they do change it on the board, we will see.
All right, so that makes sense because Ndai is a forward.
Changed now to Philippe Lencourt-Joseph. Looks like the player was going to come off.
Yep.
There's a touch on the ball. Dominguez quick sends it forward, looking for Rigi. Man gets there to head it back to Grinwis. 1-0 Rhinos lead as we begin the second half with an immediate red card to Fabio Morelli for his hard challenge against Anoa Obasi.
I don't think I've ever seen a red card that fast at the start of a second half before.
I'm just sitting down, writing down Bringolf coming on for Oseen, and I look up and the referee's reaching into his back pocket.
Well, thanks to Johnny Catalano in the truck for getting us that replay.
And with a great crew, as always, helping us out and doing their thing. And Ruggles and Dominguez go for a little shove at one another. Testa, the referee, will step in between the two guys.
The Rhinos need to keep their cool here. They're up a man. They don't want to get any unnecessary cards themselves here. It's always the retaliation that the referee sees.
Another free kick coming up here for Ruggles and the Rhinos.
If the Rhinos can score in the next couple of minutes, it might be all she wrote for Montreal.
Swerving ball from Ruggles, flicked on, and just wide of that post. It was, I believe, Valesky got the top of his head to that one.
Very nice header from Valesky. Got down well. Again, right in that area we talked about earlier where you're in nobody's land. You're right in your midsection. He got down, got his 6'2" frame down there, got the header on it, just went by the post.
Montreal will go to the bench momentarily for their second change of the game.
And for you listening into USL for the first time, they allow 5 substitutions in the USL League.
And it will be Ndaye now coming on for number 46, Lencourt-Joseph. Time of this change, 52nd minute.
Replacing number 46, Philippe Lencourt-Joseph.
And if you're wondering why the Montreal numbers are so high, it's because these are the officially assigned numbers of the Impact. They keep these numbers through the whole year. So if you see lower numbers, then their players actually are on loan from Montreal, like Gagnon Lapar is on loan from the MLS side Montreal Impact, as is Crapeau.
Foul called. Ruggles will come away with it. They'll sprint forward on the near sideline. 52nd minute. McMahon. Walls a high service to the far side, and Crapeau is there.
Montreal really could use the services of Romario Williams, the Jamaican, who is back with the MLS side. He's played a few matches for the FC Montreal side. A very dangerous player, but he is with the Impact tonight.
And they're in Chicago. The Impact coming off a big 2-1 win against Dallas last week. And the Argentinian Ignacio Piatti with a big performance, a goal and an assist.
That's a
Back
big
off the top team.
It's a big win for them over Dallas. Dallas is an excellent side. That gets the Impact a little more confidence, I think, after that crushing loss to Club America in the CONCACAF Champions League final.
Duba, Voleski, Duba, chips in front. Oh, Voleski maybe expecting the shot from Duba. He wanted to return the favor. Be selfish there, my friend.
The Duba train steaming forward right through all the Montreal defense. There it is again. Duba just overpowering the Montreal back line, comes in all alone. Crepeau was in good position there. It was the right play to ring off or to Voleski, but he could not get far enough forward to get his foot on it.
And Rigi, a two-arm shove on McMahon. It's easily called for the foul. Well, you see the power and the speed of Duba.
Coach Bob Lilly having a few words with the Cabo Verdean, giving us some instructions.
I wonder if he said, take that yourself.
He would have had to go high with that one because Crepeau was in good position. He would have had to go over the top of him with power. Decided again to lay it off for Voleski to get him some more goals against Montreal.
Ugarte and Dinkota battle for it. Played back to Obasi. Tosh. Pass intercepted. And stepped in hard is Van de Castile as he takes a little hobble. And Daye called for the foul as it's a little delayed on the call. Restart coming up for the Rhinos. Montreal's next game is against the New York Red Bulls again on June the 6th at 6:30 p.m. The Rhinos June 13th against Louisville at 7 p.m.
Van de Castile hobbling just a little bit. We could keep an eye on that, see if Coach Bob Lilly might go to the bench. He's got Apostolopoulos there in the back line as a potential substitute.
Outside to Obasi.
So Tony Walls could also step back into the back four if necessary, as could Santos. A lot of options for Coach Lilly, Joe.
Van de Castile looks like he's bounced back as he plays it to Ringoff. Van de Castile tough on the touch. Rigi. And we'll play on. No call made as there was a little challenge in there.
Well, it might have been a handball there on Van de Castile, but the referee lets it go. And here comes Duba again.
Look at that speed of Duba. Stretching those long legs, Ruggles all sorts of time. Deflected back to McMahon. Walls.
Tried the 5-hole there.
Tackle from behind by Dominguez. It's getting chippy. And Castile will go to the far side. No one there for Rochester. Pablo not going to be happy with that giveaway. Obasi helps out.
Obasi just so smooth. Knows exactly where he needs to be positioned. Again, playing the game your whole life and having that experience at the international level as he has indoors makes a big difference. And I was very fortunate to have Anu Obasi at that left back position.
56th minute. Rhinos lead it 1-0. Duba with the goal in the 9th minute.
Bob Lilly perusing the field, seeing what he might want to do, potential substitutions. We have Asani Samuels, who was the hero of the Open Cup game. He's in there for about 20-some minutes and scored 2 goals and an assist. That's called production.
That is in Bob Lilly's mind, always circulating around the soccer field, whether it's game day or not. A true student of the game, I guess you would say, or master of the game, but incredible knowledge and passion for this game.
So around this maybe 60, 65th minute, Joe, I bet you will see some moves. And with Colin Rolfe and Canardo Forbes, Johnny Mendoza available, still a lot of Rhinos firepower that is out there potentially to come into this match and get a second goal that will probably put this game away. Get Montreal down to 10 men.
Gets a piece of Temguia, no call made. Montreal's bench not happy with it. As Ugarte and the Rhinos have possession on the far side. Obasi. Apostolopoulos will appear to be the first sub coming on for Rochester. As this one will find Ruggles on the near side. McMahon coming in, gets the ball. Back to Ruggles. Walls looks, serves. Voleski, the header! And it's tipped up and over the bar by Crepeau.
Great save from Crepeau. That's the ball Voleski's been waiting for. And Crepeau up to the task to keep it 1-0. Corner for the Rhinos.
Sixth one of the game for Rochester. While we have a second here, let's talk about USLsoccer.com. Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news, live stats, check out the new social media hub.
Bam, what a fingertip save from Crepeau as Voleski got all of that header. And Crepeau keeps it 1-0.
He's been good tonight.
Here's Walls again, a perfect ball curling away from the defender, right onto Voleski. That was headed for the upper 90. Crepeau with the save.
And the punch on the corner kick. And the referee's assistant has his flag up for another corner kick. It'll be the seventh one of the game. Maxime Crepeau, the 21-year-old, his fourth appearance of the season. Montreal's fourth homegrown player. He has been busy and he's been good tonight.
Canadian Youth International, played in the Under-17 World Cup for Canada out of Greenfield Park, Quebec.
Low swerving ball headed away there by Lajoie Gravel.
Tosha want that one back. That was a poor corner there. There's a chance for it again.
Tosh swerving ball and off the top of Temguia's head. Oh, corner kick number 8 for the Rhinos.
Temguia made sure that was not on frame, like not, unlike in the first half where he forced a save from his own keeper.
Ruggles, the 22-year-old. Played last season for Wilmington. He'll have another corner kick opportunity.
Rhinos had both balls on both corner flags. That would have been a tough decision for the referee there.
It'll be a left-footed in-swinging service, and it's another low one. Knocked away by Rigi.
Rhinos need to get the ball past that first defender. Got to get some air under that ball. Drive it in there in that 6-yard box.
There's Ruggles to Walls. And another corner kick, the 9th one of the game coming up here for the Rhinos.
We'll see if Ruggles can get a little more oomph on this next corner kick.
We'll stay with the left foot. 60th minute. Good ball. Crepeau has to punch it to the far side, and it's picked up and cleared away by the Montreal defense.
And we will be seeing also coming for the Rhinos, that man, Asani Samuels, the hero of the Open Cup game, will be making his appearance for the Rhinos on this next break as soon as we get the ball out of play.
Temguia stripped of the ball. Voleski, still Voleski, outside, back inside, and looking for Duba, couldn't get a connection.
Little too high for Duba, looking for that flick header from the big Cabo Verdean, just a little too high, and Crepeau once again seeing a lot of action here in this second half.
There's Ugarte, Tosh, Tony Walls. Back to ring off. Now Walls just floats around, looks for pockets of space to show and be an option as McMahon's touch goes over the near sideline, and we'll have a change here in the 62nd minute. Vasily Apostolopoulos will be coming on for Grant Van de Castile. This is the first change for the Rhinos, and the second change will be Ruggles coming off for Asani Samuels. These two changes coming up in the 62nd minute. And Samuels coming off a big night, 2 goals and an assist on Wednesday in the 3rd round of the U.S. Open Cup, a 3-1 win against Harrisburg.
We thought Van de Castile was struggling just a little bit. Coach getting him off there for the Greek Vasily Apostolopoulos. We'll see where Samuels lines up. He likes to play out wide on the right side.
Another big boy, the 2014 All-MAC first team. 8 goals, 3 assists. Congratulations on getting his 4-year degree from Canisius College and now devoting full-time to soccer.
Montreal defense got to be thinking, boy, we got big bodies up front with speed and strength. But you know what? They have a free kick here. They can nick a goal, tie it up. You never know.
Regi will set this one up. Go short. Dominguez, a shot from way downtown, and that's a 40-yard shot that he took.
I don't think his name is Roberto Carlos. That's very surprising. I thought that we'd get a ball into the boxes. When it gets into the mixer, anything can happen. But sadly, for Rhinos will take 40-yard shots all day at this point.
Cleared away by Grinwis, flicked on, looking for Voleski. It's Duba again. You get the sense that Duba wants to set Voleski up for one. He's looked for his strike mate. Walls gets fouled by Bringolf.
And so again, Samuels, as we thought, he's playing wide on that right side. He'll look to cut inside when he gets a chance. And that's a poor free kick there.
Secunda. Picked up. Tosh. Top of the 18th behind Voleski and pounded away by Bringolf. 63rd minute.
Remind everybody, Rhinos playing up a man due to the red card by Fabio Morelli in the 46th minute.
Obasi with a throw-in on the far side. Anoa Obasi into the box looking for Duba. We'll try it again. It's Voleski. Headed down and cleared away by Montreal. Dominguez heads it straight up in the air. Obasi will push it forward. Rolls into the box, and Crepeau will pick it up in the 65th minute.
Another reminder, Voleski is playing on a yellow card, picked up an early yellow card, as did Regi, both for deliberate handballs called by referee Mr. Testa. So we'll see if that plays into the game at all.
Here's Samuels getting his first touch of the game. And rolls out of play. It'll be a throw-in coming up for Montreal.
Smart play from Secunda, shielding the ball and allowing it to roll out of play.
Ugarte, quick touch to Obasi. Rhinos at home are 2-0. Looking to get their third win at home turf and stay perfect and undefeated on the season.
We also have a U.S. Open Cup win over FC Binghamton in the home record as well.
Duba says, well, if they can go from distance, why can't I? It's way off the mark in the 65th minute.
Coach Bob Lilly giving some instructions to Asani Samuel for some positional play there, trying to tell him where to go on that situation with Duba.
Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive comment. USL on Facebook.
Montreal still has a fair number of players forward. They need a goal here if they're going to get anything out of this match. So Rhinos will look to try to exploit the spaces in midfield.
To the far side. Montreal only trailing by 1. Crossed into the box. Cleared away by Walls. Montreal keeping some possession. They'll try to work the near side. Headed away by McMahon. Duba, good spin turn, gets it to Samuels. He'll turn on the Jets. Slowed down here by Regi. I'm sorry, Chuck, that it was Secunda who did a good job. We'll have another change coming up here for Montreal. Number 43, Zakaria Masudi, will make his 6th appearance of the season. He'll replace number 67, Frederic Lajoie-Gravel. This change coming up in the 67th minute.
Masudi, originally born in Casablanca. Moved to Laval, Quebec at the age of 8. He's played for the Ottawa team in the NASL last year in the Canadian Championship, and then didn't see any other action for the team, and now with MC Montreal.
As Ugarte and the Rhinos pushing down the far side. A chip into the box. Samuels. Walls shot deflected.
It should be another corner.
And that's going to be double digits in corner kicks for Rochester. That's number 10 now to Montreal's 1 in the 67th minute.
Rhinos have actually, on the season, had less corners in the second half up till this match.
It'll be Ugarte, since Ruggles has come off, to track over to the near side. 22-year-old.
Taking his time. The Rhinos ahead here, and the referee saying, let's move things along. Actually telling Crepeau has got something in the goal he wants moved out of the way, the water bottle. A little distraction, so takes care of that, and it becomes the in-swinger.
Deep service. Headed back at the 6. And cleared away by Masudi.
Good play by FC Montreal there to get that ball out. It was well headed back in, but good play by the defense.
Ringolf will break it up. Dakota and Dye. His return pass intercepted by Obasi. After tonight, Rochester again 2 weeks off. Looking to enjoy that time, and a good little bit of work there from Tosh.
Going up against the Louisville City team has only given up 7 goals this year. Just 1 loss on the season, the former Orlando City side.
Nice ball from Walls to Samuels. That tight space, and Samuels will win corner kick number 11. He did not have more than a foot to get around the Montreal defender, and he used every bit of that space.
And again, Samuels looking to always go toward goal. He's a true goal scorer, and he had no other play. He wasn't going to pass up. He was going to dribble as far in as he could, and he won the corner, and here we go again.
It's Ugarte, corner kick number 11.
See if Ugarte waits for ring off here. Nope.
Another deep one. Walls heads it down, and he'll be called for climbing up the back of the Montreal defender.
Tony says, I didn't do anything wrong. Mr. Testa, come on. Get your head in the game. So it'll be a free kick for the Clad in Blue FC Montreal side.
Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider, join club conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. USL on Twitter. Bassi takes the worst of it again. It's Gagnon Lapere, who actually will win the call, actually, for Montreal. Bassi went down, and Montreal gets the kick.
Yeah, not sure about that one, but again, I'm not on the field, so Mr. Testa must have seen something. So let's see what the
Montreal's had trouble in the run of play getting pressure at Grinwis. We'll see if the set piece provides any opportunities. Not yet. Headed away by Duba. Masudi. Cleared away by Apostolopoulos. Dinkota's low cross. Again, Vasily Apostolopoulos. The high clearance to the far side. And headed out of play by Obasi.
very difficult for any team, Joe, to try to get the ball in the air against the Rhinos in the box with that big size and leaping ability that the back line has.
Got to play again.
They may try to keep the ball maybe on the ground, try to beat the players that way, but you think that the impact with the quickness they have up top, they'll try that, but they're still pumping balls into the box, and that's, the Rhinos back line will take that all day.
It's been a good evening for Grinwis so far, thanks to the big guys in front of him. Still, though, 20-plus minutes to go. Foul called, a little nudge from behind against Tony Walls, and the restart on the far side for the Rhinos.
Mr. Testa's had a pretty good game. He's called things pretty tight, I think, which I think in a Montreal-Rochester game, you want to call things pretty tight and not let things get out of hand.
Good interception by Dinkota and Dye. He's got some space here. Got to look to come out of the near side, deflected by Walls. And picked up by Tony Walls again.
Rhinos just
pass intercepted.
Rhinos surrounding the ball whenever they lose it.
Masudi. Cleared away there by McMahon. Duba. One time, and a one hop into the arms of Grinwis.
Took a funny bounce there away from the Rhinos player. Potential chance for the clad in blue Montreal side, but To no avail.
There's Duba. Tosh. Behind Obasi. He'll go all the way back to Grinless.
And Rhinos trying to keep possession, force Montreal to chase the game with just 10 men, and then try to hit home a second goal, which would, again, probably say 3 points to the Rhinos.
Bringoff, good step there in front of Duba. Throw it on the far side for Rochester. Gavin McInerney, the assistant coach, now getting up and shouting some instructions to the Rhinos as well.
I think the coaching staff knows that they think the Rhinos should be up by 2-3 goals right now against Montreal, especially with them being up a man, but so far I've not been able to find the back of the net a second time.
There's Duba. Tripped up and inside the center circle. Restart coming up here for the Rhinos. Montreal looks to go to the bench once again to make their 4th substitution. Tosh over this restart.
Score from out of town, Pittsburgh 3, Harrisburg 4, late in the game.
If I'm not mistaken, did your earlier update say 3-0?
Yes.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Barn burner in the Steel City tonight.
1 point separating those two teams in the standings.
Richmond's up 4-1 against Red Bulls 2.
Crépeau will have a restart just outside his penalty area on the near side. 74th minute if you're just tuning in. Duba in the 9th minute from Ruggles. Scored his 3rd of the season. He scored the last 3 USL goals for the Rhinos. Here is Duba outside to Ugarte. Gets it back. Duba can be one-on-one here with Ringolf, and Ugarte comes in, crosses, and no one on the end of it. Whipped it in, but no one gets a piece of it.
Good play there by Duba, letting Ugarte come onto that ball. He had the angle for the cross, just a little bit ahead of Valesky. I believe it was going to be a Rhino sort of throw-in because may have just took a little bit of a deflection off the FC Montreal defender. Here's that scene again. Duba going at Bringoff and just lays the ball off nicely for Ugarte. Gets the cross in, and it was deflected by goalkeeper Crépeau. Got a piece of that one to knock it away from Christian Valesky. So once again, Crépeau doing the job for Montreal.
He's been good tonight.
He's kept it 1-0, that's for sure.
Samuels. Still Asani Samuels. And poked away. And the Rhinos will have a deep throw in as we'll have Frank Zoué coming on. Number 60. He'll replace number 73, Zachary Secunda. 4th change of the game. And this coming up here in the 76th minute.
Some fresh legs out there for Montreal. Rhinos still with just 2 subs made so far. I think we're going to be seeing Michael Garzi coming in, try to settle out down that midfield, get some possession for the Rhinos. You know, 1-0 is as good as 2-0 or 3-0 in this case. It keeps the team undefeated. No goals allowed at home. And Montreal scored a late goal against the Rhinos the last time out, so certainly they have the capability to put the ball in the back of the net.
Coda heads it through the far side. Obasi will pick it up. Avoid the first challenge. Ugarte back to Obasi. Obasi, low cross, deflected. Crépeau has to dive at the near post.
And no, that was not a back pass.
Had to be quick to respond there. Masudi. Still Masudi. Outside Denkota.
We see Johnny Mendoza coming in for the Rhinos again to solidify that midfield, get some possession.
And Daye with a tackle into Ugarte. It's off the Rhino defender or midfielder.
And the Montreal Ultras.
They haven't stopped all game.
Haven't heard too much from them. They've been a little bit quiet, but
Flags waving though.
Yes.
Standing up the entire match.
I think they know that they're still in this game.
Handball there called on Duba.
Anything can happen. A bad bounce, a deflection.
Dominguez trying to battle through 2 Rhino players. He can't, but he's tripped up, and a free kick coming up for Montreal as Mendoza will be coming on. He'll replace number 2, Marcos Ugarte. Mendoza in the 78th minute on for Ugarte.
And Ugarte doing very well tonight for the Rhinos. A lot of work on that left side of midfield, getting in some very dangerous positions.
This is appearance number 11 for Mendoza.
Midfield general for the Rhinos, and under normal circumstances, because he played almost all that Open Cup game, 120 minutes.
25 years old, and he has really blossomed. He's coming over from Orlando.
He scored against Montreal this year himself. Game-winning goal in that first 3-0 win by the Rhinos over Montreal.
Dominguez on the set piece to Masudi. Play by design, but it's broken up by Samuels and the Rhinos. Duba pops it up in the air to himself, battles for it. And Gagnon Lapere will come away with it. He'll try to work the near side, looking for Rigi. Zue, Rigi. Back to Zue. Apostolopoulos anticipates it, breaks it up. All right, Garzi will be coming on now for Rochester. He'll replace Christian Valesky. So Valesky, unable to continue his goal-scoring streak against Montreal, comes off in the 79th minute.
And again, that's a good move from Coach Bob Lilly because Valesky is on a yellow card. So we don't want him to pick up a second yellow and get down to 10v10. You'll see Samuel's now going to be like probably a twin striker role up there with Duba. Boy, is that intimidating.
They just keep coming. The bench empties out, and it's just powerhouse after powerhouse. Zue, good low cross. Into the mix, and Obasi there for Rochester.
And there, Joe, that's where the missing 11th man for Montreal really came into play. There was nobody there on that back post.
This one takes a hop backwards. Mendoza hustles to pick it up.
And that's what Mendoza does for the Rhinos. He picks up every loose ball. He runs and runs until he can't run anymore. Great possession player for the Rhinos. And here he is, the ball.
Plays it central for Duba. Back to Wallace. McMahon. McMahon overlapping. Takes a touch. Low service. Mendoza. Another low cross. Oh, cleared away by Dinkota.
Great play there again from Mendoza. Good ball, but the Montreal defender Dinkota in the right place at the right time.
The Rhinos continue coming forward. Samuels.
Shifts over that left side now.
And throw in here for Rochester. 81st minute. You get guys like Valesky, Ruggles, Ugarte. They do the hard work. They soften up the opposition, and then you just bring in guys like Samuels, Mendoza, Forbes. It's just endless options off the bench. Bob Lilly's done a great job assembling a good team from top to bottom.
I'm sure Bob is saying to himself, let's get that second goal and put this game away.
Walls spinning away from pressure.
That was good play from FC Montreal. They put four guys up onto the ball and forced the turnover.
Walls off the chest, soft touch down the near sideline. Zue. Play it back to Crepeau. 82nd minute. A slim 1-0 Rhinos lead. Shots 7 for Rochester, 2 for Montreal. Corner kicks 11 for the Rhinos, 1 for FC Montreal.
The only stat that matters is Rhinos 1, FC Montreal 0.
Valuable 3 points. Garzi knocks this one out of play, and we'll have another change. 5th and final one of the game. It'll be Marco Dominguez coming off, and Masta Kasher coming on. 5th and final change of the game, and it's the 83rd minute.
Another international player for FC Montreal, born in Algeria, is Kacher.
Third appearance of the season for Kacher, who wins a free kick.
Tony
Played against Toronto and Rochester this season so far.
Tony Walls, one more foul. I think he's going to go in the book. He's been a persistent infringement from the Rhino captain.
Another dangerous restart here for Montreal.
Kacher gained about 5 yards on that free kick. The referee caught it and said, "Put the ball back, Mr. Kacher."
As Kacher steps in low, top of the 18, no trouble for McMahon.
Actually, wasn't a bad idea to get the ball to the top of the box on a low ball, but Rhino's defense right there anticipating.
83rd minute. Now we switch to minute number 84. Rhinos have the throw-in on the far side. Anoa Obasi.
Unbelievable game in Pittsburgh. Riverhounds 4, Harrisburg 5. Danny Earls, former Rhino, just scoring for Pittsburgh to make it 4-5.
Unbelievable. Hats off to good friend Danny Earls. And a good play there by Tony Walls to break it up. Good slide from Garzi as well.
Pittsburgh can score a lot of goals, but they also give up a lot of goals as well. We've seen them on Hall of Fame night on the 29th of June.
Riverhounds with 12 points, 3-3-3 coming into tonight's game with the 4-2-1 City Islanders.
Pittsburgh with a big Open Cup win against Tampa Bay Rowdies on Wednesday.
This one runs through the mix and into the box of Adam Grinwis, a 0.67 goals against average. If this one stands, it'll go down even more tonight. As we're in the 85th minute.
I am in absolute shock, Joe. Score in the 89th minute. Pittsburgh 6, Harrisburg 5.
Wow.
Incredible.
11 combined goals. How'd you like to be calling that one? I feel bad for the announcers. They're going to be tired tonight.
They're going to need some ice cream to soothe their
the
throat.
right? Good move by Samuels and a good defensive recovery from Temguia. Corner kick number 12 for the Rhinos.
See if we can get a conversion here. As it will be Johnny Mendoza, who normally takes all the corners for the Rhinos. Now he's in the game. And here comes Julian Ringoff, Anoa Obasi, all the big boys for the Rhinos.
The usual suspects are there. The service, the header. Crepeau on the line, able to snag it out of the air.
There's a good defensive play by Temguia, who got a little bit of a touch on that header to slow it down enough for Crepeau to grab it.
Obasi with a little toe poke. He'll come into the 18 now. Still Obasi. And that last touch just got away from him.
In Chicago, it's Fire 1, Impact 0.
Man steps into the header, wins it. Zoué will bring it off the chest. Back to Bringolf. Gagnon Lapere. Dinkota. Ndaye. Apostolopoulos marking him. They still battle for it in the corner. One coming up here for FC Montreal.
Good idea there from the FC Montreal player trying to win a corner. But again, Apostolopoulos, very experienced player, played in the Greek First Division. He's seen all that before. He just gets that deep throw in.
And it'll stay deep in that far side. Reynolds will have the throw, and Obasi will slow things down in the 87th minute. Third meeting out of 4 this season between Rochester and Montreal. Reynolds winning the first 2 up north.
Each
Holding
game,
a late lead here now.
each game, Montreal has gotten better, and they've done well with 10 men. You got to give them a lot of credit. They're still in this game, still got time.
Well, Duba in a race for it. Crepeau off the head. Gets it to Zoué, and he hustles back into his box. Duba Tanguia heads it out of play.
Dua put the brakes on there just in time, or it could have been a serious collision. I flash back to Matt Luzanaris.
Oh, please.
And that terrible.
Please don't.
I know. But Dua, put on the brakes. He knew Kripo was going to get to the ball and held up his run.
Samuels, he gets a deflected ball into the 6, and Kripo, credited with his 4th save, able to punt it out now to midfield. Walls. Brought down there. Kasher. Dinkota on the outside. Chips into the box. Grinwis. And the foul is called on Ndaye.
That's a good call right there. Undercut the. That should be a card too, and it is.
Ndaye goes into the book in the 88th minute. As Canardo Forbes will be the 5th and final substitution to come on for Rochester if.
Joe, way behind the play, Julian Ringoff is down face down on the carpet. Not sure exactly what happened there.
Now the Montreal bench is up in arms as well. And they were pointing to the other end of the field. Now they'll make their way over to the side to our left, but they're having a deep conversation with the 4th official.
Not sure what that was all about.
I have no idea.
Ringoff looks like he got hit in the face. Maybe when both those players are going for the ball, he might have took a knock to the face. Let's see if Coach Lilly will take him out of the game. He's holding his head.
Give Grinwis a lot of credit for hanging on to that one as he had to fight through his own defender and an attacking Montreal player.
Julian Ringoff.
Forbes.
See if Forbes will come in for Ringoff potentially. Or just put Tosh into the back or Tony Walls.
There is Ringoff holding the top of his head and the left side of his face as well.
Checking for blood, I think. I don't think there was any blood, but Bob Lilly holding up a piece of paper there, maybe saying, yep, he's going to take Ringoff off.
Here's a look at it, Andrew. What do you make of this?
Let's see what happened here. Ringoff. Ooh, he got kneed right in the head by Adam Grinwis.
His own keeper got him.
Yep.
I'll talk to Ringoff and see if he knows what day it is. That was a knee to the side of the head. Here's a look at it again.
And sometimes things like that happen. Ringoff trying to hold off the defender to allow Grinwis to get the ball. He just came up, boom, right to the side of the head with the knee.
And you got to give Grinwis credit. That is textbook goalkeeping. You're taught to bring up that knee to protect yourself.
That's right.
We'll have 3 minutes of stoppage time.
So Duba was originally coming off it for Forbes, but Ringoff is substituted because of the injury.
A cheeky little back heel from Duba almost got it up and over the defender. Here's Forbes, one of the goal scorers from Wednesday's Open Cup game. Tosh. Samuels. Is it safe to Obasi? Montreal, and this will go out of play. Going for Rochester. Stoppage time, 3 minutes called for.
So Tony Walls will shift into the back 4 with Ringoff coming off, and Canardo Forbes will take Tony Walls' place in midfield.
Tosh. Obasi.
Time to put the ball into the corner.
And knocked out of play by Dinkota. Throw in for the Rhinos as we've played 1 minute of the 3 minutes called for in stoppage time.
Again, here's where the Rhinos' experience really comes into play. They know how to take the air out of the ball, just hold on to it, waste 2 minutes, take 3 points, and have a 2-week break.
Foul called on Samuels.
Rookie mistake there. Again, you don't want Montreal having a free kick here to get the ball out of their own end. Rhinos wanted 80 yards away from their own goal.
Regi and McMahon battle for it. They'll call Regi for the foul, coming in a little late and from behind with the shot.
And Regi's on a yellow card. He doesn't want to get sent off because then he would be missing from their next match against the Red Bulls too.
Montreal upset with the clearance by McMahon. See, add more time to the official. This is it's a somewhat typical Montreal sideline. Very intense, very heated,
I think the other
passionate.
step, besides the 1-0 scoreline, 22 fouls for Montreal, 16 for the Rhinos.
Duba battles with Zue. It's Forbes to Duba.
He's going to use that big body, shield the ball, hold on to it.
Good job. Forbes gets around one. Still Forbes into the 18. Tripped up. No call made. Temguia. Gagnon Lapare.
Last chance for Montreal.
Masudi pushing forward. Outside now, Rigi. Montreal up deep in the Rhinos box. And they'll go to the far side. Hustling to keep it in play is Bringolf. And nope.
And again, that's where that 11th man, Joe, missing that second forward, will be normally in that spot. And that just might do it here. 3 minutes will be up by the time Adam Grinwis takes this goal kick.
The Rhinos will go to 3-0. Barring some sort of miracle here, they have a 1-0 lead after this goal kick from Grinwis.
As the yellow fog envelops Salem Stadium, and there's the final whistle.
They will pick up their league-leading 7th shutout of the season with their 3rd win of the year against FC Montreal. It was Duba early on in the 9th minute